Have you ever pondered the tangible effects of an encounter with the unknown? This question leads us to the intriguing domain of close encounters of the second kind, a term coined by the UFO community to categorize those sightings that leave behind physical evidence or cause noticeable alterations in their surroundings. Now, you may be familiar with the countless stories of people spotting strange lights in the sky, but as we delve into the realm of the second kind, we're not just talking about mere sightings. We're exploring cases where these unidentified flying objects have left their mark on our world, quite literally. We're speaking of incidents where these unknown entities have left behind ground markings, scorched earth, or caused electromagnetic interference. Some have even reported strange effects on plants and animals in the vicinity of these sightings. To understand the gravity of these encounters, let's wind back the clock to 1947, to an incident that would forever change the way we perceive the unknown. This was the year when pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 high-speed objects near Mount Rainier in Washington. Arnold described the objects as saucer-like, a term that would later give birth to the phrase flying saucers. But what made this incident stand out in the annals of UFO history was not just the sighting itself, but the effects it left behind. Arnold reported anomalies in his aircraft's magnetic compass, a phenomenon that was later backed by ground-based observations of magnetic disturbances at the time of the sighting. This incident wasn't just a story to be told and forgotten. It was a tangible, physical event that challenged our understanding of the world. It was an encounter that left evidence that was hard to ignore and even harder to explain. The Kenneth Arnold incident set a precedent, marking the beginning of numerous encounters that would shake the world. This was the dawn of a new era, an era of close encounters of the second kind, where the unseen became seen, and the unknown began to leave its mark on our world. In the wake of Arnold's encounter, the 1950s became a hotbed for sightings around the globe. A decade of intrigue, wonder, and a growing sense of unease, the 50s were awash with reports of unidentified flying objects, each more baffling than the last. 2 incidents, however, stood out above the rest, their physical evidence causing ripples that continue to this day. The summer of 1952 saw Washington, D.C. under an unseen siege. For 2 consecutive weekends, radar screens at Washington National Airport and Andrews Air Force Base picked up a series of blips, unexplained, enigmatic. Jets scrambled into the night, chasing after the elusive blips, but returned empty-handed. Yet, on the ground, people reported seeing orange lights moving in strange patterns across the sky. The radar blips, the strange lights, the futile chases. All of these left an indelible mark on the public consciousness, a mark that no explanation could erase. Halfway across the country, 5 years later, the small town of Levelland, Texas became the stage for another bewildering encounter. On a chilly November night, multiple motorists reported their vehicles stalling as glowing objects passed overhead. Some described them as egg-shaped, others as torpedo-like, but all agreed on the eerie disruption of their vehicles. Investigators later found no evidence of conventional explanations such as ball lightning or mass hysteria. The Levelland case was marked as unexplained, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a lingering sense of wonder. These incidents, among many others, left their physical traces on the world. Burnt patches of earth, malfunctioning electronics, and countless eyewitness accounts painted a picture of the 50s as a time of high strangeness. Each sighting, each piece of evidence, added another layer to the growing mystery of the UFO phenomenon. As the decade closed, the evidence was mounting and the world was watching. As we moved into the 1960s, the perception of these encounters began to change. The dawn of this era bore witness to a shift in the public's stance towards unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. The decade was punctuated by a series of sightings that left marks on the physical world, a phenomenon now known as close encounters of the second kind. A pivotal moment in this shift was the 1964 Socorro UFO incident. In the small town of Socorro, New Mexico, local policeman Lonnie Zamora encountered a strange, egg-shaped craft accompanied by 2 small humanoid figures. This wasn't a mere sighting, though. The incident left physical traces on the ground, including deep landing marks and scorched vegetation. These tangible pieces of evidence were hard to dismiss, and they sparked widespread curiosity and speculation. The Socorro incident was a turning point, marking a new phase in the public's perception of UFO encounters. It was no longer just about fleeting, unverifiable sightings. The evidence was right there, imprinted on the Earth itself. Around the same time, the US government was also taking a keen interest in these phenomena. The Air Force launched Project Blue Book, an initiative dedicated to investigating UFO sightings and their potential implications. This was no covert operation. It was public knowledge. The government's involvement lent an air of legitimacy to the subject, challenging the notion that UFO sightings were purely the domain of conspiracy theorists and science fiction enthusiasts. Project Blue Book examined over 12,000 UFO sightings, a significant number of which fell under the category of close encounters of the second kind. The project's findings, while often inconclusive, added further fuel to the public's growing fascination with the unknown. UFOs were no longer just a fringe interest. They had entered mainstream consciousness. The 60s left us questioning our place in the universe and eager for answers. It was a decade that changed our collective perception of UFO encounters, from dismissive skepticism to intrigued curiosity. The physical evidence left in the wake of these encounters challenged us to look beyond our own world and consider the possibilities that lie out there in the vast expanse of the cosmos. Fast forward to the present day, where sightings continue to captivate and confound us. As we navigate the corridors of the 21st century, the fascination with unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, has only intensified. The modern era is not without its fair share of sightings, each more intriguing than the last, leaving us scratching our heads in wonder and bewilderment. Perhaps one of the most notable of these modern encounters occurred in 2006 at the bustling O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. Eyewitnesses, including airport employees and pilots, reported a saucer-shaped object hovering over the airport's Gate C-17. The object, they claimed, shot upward through the dense cloud cover, leaving a circular hole. The Federal Aviation Administration dismissed the sighting as a weather phenomenon. Yet, the physical evidence in the form of a hole in the cloud cover and the numerous eyewitness accounts suggested otherwise. Fast forward a decade, and we find ourselves in the midst of another puzzling encounter. In 2017, fighter pilots from the USS Nimitz reported an unexplained aerial phenomenon off the coast of Southern California. The pilots described the object as a tic-tac, maneuvering with unprecedented speed and agility. The encounter was accompanied by a video clip, released by the Department of Defense, showing the object's erratic movements. This sighting, unlike the O'Hare incident, was not easily dismissed, prompting the Navy to issue formal guidelines for reporting unexplained aerial phenomena. These encounters, each leaving behind a trail of physical evidence and a flurry of questions, continue to fuel the enduring fascination with UFOs. They serve to remind us that the universe is a vast, unexplored expanse, brimming with potential and mystery. The modern era, with its advanced technology and increasing openness to the unexplained, promises a future where the quest for answers might just lead us to the truth. These incidents remind us that we are not alone in our curiosity and quest for answers. The question remains, how have these encounters shaped our world? The impact of these sightings, these close encounters of the second kind, has extended far beyond mere eyewitness accounts. They've left a profound footprint on our society, culture, and scientific understanding. Let's start with society. The UFO phenomenon has sparked the imagination of millions, inspiring a sense of awe and wonder about the unknown. It has given rise to countless communities of enthusiasts, all sharing a common goal: to seek the truth. This collective curiosity has brought people together, often across borders and cultures, fostering a sense of global unity in the face of the inexplicable. In the realm of culture, the influence is equally profound. From Hollywood blockbusters to best-selling novels, the theme of UFOs and extraterrestrial life forms has become a staple in our modern storytelling. It's a narrative that resonates with our innate desire to explore the unknown, to push the boundaries of our knowledge and experience. These stories, often inspired by real-life accounts, have not only entertained us, but also made us question our place in the grand scheme of the universe. But perhaps the most significant impact is on the scientific front. These encounters have spurred a new wave of research into uncharted territories. Scientists around the world are now more open to the possibility of life beyond Earth, leading to advancements in fields such as astrobiology and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. This shift in perspective has opened up a new frontier of exploration, one that may hold the answers to some of our biggest questions. As we reflect on the impact of these close encounters, we see a world that has been changed, inspired, and challenged. They've nudged us to look beyond our own horizons, to question our assumptions, and to embrace the unknown. As we continue to gaze up at the stars, we must remember that the universe is full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled.